So guys, I promised fireworks, and what better way to open up the new year but a game with the late great Mikhail Tal, one of the most popular and brilliant chess players of all time. I mean, everybody loves Tal. He's the best known attacking player of all time, you know, hands down. Everybody loves him. But okay, in this game, Tal is white. His opponent is Karen Grigoryan. This game was played in 1982. And I want to clear up a little bit of a misunderstanding. If you're an attacking player, it doesn't mean that you have to throw everything at your opponent from move 1. Look at this game from one of the best known attacking players of all time, Mikhail Tal. He opens up with c4, the English opening. It's a positional, relatively quiet opening in a way. e5, knight c3, knight f6, classical English opening. Both knights out for both parties, and g3 by white, preparing to fianchetto the bishop. Bishop to b4, knight to d5, a5 by black. Tal goes with bishop d2, d6, and both sides castle their kings. So nothing spectacular. Notice that Tal is just playing positionally. Let this be a lesson, you know. To attack, sometimes there has to be a basis for the attack. You have to build up your forces so that there's a basis for your attack, or wait for your opponent to do some kind of a mistake so that you can attack. So still nothing, you know, not a hint of an attack really. It's just an English opening. e3, bishop c5. Now black doesn't want to kill the bishop, doesn't want to give up the bishop pair, and b3 by Tal. He wants to play bishop to b2. Just normal development. Nothing fancy, nothing spectacular. Now black defines the pawn structure a little bit with knight takes on d5. And after c takes d5, he plays knight b4. Now this forces white's hand a little bit, as black is threatening to really target the white squares in white's camp. So now d4 by Tal, trying to get rid of the double d pawns. Black really has no choice but to take. If you move the bishop, I will take on e5, so e takes d4. And now knight takes d4. If pawn takes, the bishop goes back, and you know, some pressure on the center, so knight takes d4. Very logical move. If black does nothing, I will build up, play bishop to b2. I have a slight space advantage with the pawn here. I can like move my king and then build up e4, f4, etc. Have a space advantage and start to attack. But black takes on d4. And now let's hope the transition is smooth, yeah, to the analysis board. If I take with the pawn, well, he took with pawn. If I take with the queen, is what I wanted to say, then knight c2. Le double attack, le fork, material lost. So Tal has to take with the pawn. He takes on d4. On the other hand, these pawns to cut the board in half in a way. So let's see what happened. Rook e8, a3, pushing the knight, playing against this knight. The pawns are doing a great job. This pawn covers c6, and once the knight goes back, the other pawn will cover c5. So the knight doesn't have a lot of prospects. So already white has the bishop pair and is playing against the black pieces. Bishop d2, pawn to b6. Tal keeps playing against this knight. b4. So still we have positional play. Knight b8. Tal takes on a5 and rook e1. And now finally after a4 we see on move 19, after solid positional play, forcing black to make some concessions with solid play, now finally Tal starts what we could call an attack. Queen h5, aggressive move, lining the queen up on the king side, and now you can start thinking about ways to attack, like bishop e4, taking on e8, moving the other rook over. And the main feature is that these pawns are kind of cutting the board in half, so for black, these queenside pieces, it's really hard to get them into the game. Grigorian, he tried some development with bishop d7, but now bishop to e4, and this forces a critical weakening of the position. You kind of have to play g6, which was played. If you try something else, let's say h6, you're in a world of hurt, buddy. Tal, Tal has the white pieces. What would Tal do? You don't have to think twice. Tal would take this immediately. And black is just in a deep duty. There's no defense here. The king side is wide open. Only a piece. This bishop is coming. I mean, what are you going to try? f5? No, you can't do that. Queen g6, etc. This is completely winning for white. Example line: king f8, bishop back. There's no defense here. The king is just completely exposed. White will bring his pieces. You're gonna lose. Completely over. So after bishop e4, Grigorian correctly went with g6. Now queen h6 by Tal, getting ready to target the very weak black squares in black's camp. Queen f6, bishop g5 by Tal, giving up the d4 pawn. Who gives a flying about the pawn when you try to checkmate the king? Queen h4. The idea is simple: bishop f6, and from there on out, mate is coming on g7. So black has to make a huge concession here. He went with queen to g7, but now bishop h6, queen to h8. Black didn't really have a very good choice here. And now a fantastic move by Tal. This is just a typical Tal game. We love Tal. Bishop f5. Come on. Putting the bishop where it can be captured twice. A typical move that a normal chess player would always miss, but the first thing that Tal would do. Now bishop takes f5 is not on the cards because we take on e8. Curiously, okay, g takes f5 we can dismiss. Let's just dismiss it quickly because of queen g5, and you're mated in one. You can only interpose the queen and it's mate. So yeah, bishop takes, the rook is on pre. But curiously, black found the best defense here. He played queen to c3. Now Tal took on e8 and played rook to c1, attacking the queen. Queen went to e5 and queen to d8. And now it's getting really difficult for black. Okay, he's up a pawn. He can win a piece, but these pins here on the back rank are just devastating. This knight is pinned because of the rook is hanging. This is pinned to the king. I mean, black he can't do anything. G takes f5 was played, And can you believe it? After white's next move, black resigned. And after all these tricky moves, bishop f5, you know, opening up the king, bishop f5, a quiet move to win the game. Tal played, are you ready? Tal played king f1, simply preparing rook e1, winning this. And there's no defense, just beautiful stuff. I mean, what are you gonna do? The computer suggests to move the knight, but where? Knight e7. Let's make it a variation color because it's a variation. So knight e7, I just take this. I'm off material, and I'm still threatening this. Yeah, it's just game over. Game, set, match. So let this be a lesson. You know, sometimes to attack you have to build up the position first. It's not just sack this, blah blah blah. You know, hope for something to happen. No, Tal, he builds up the position correctly and then he attacks. You know, chess, it's not just sack, mate. You know, sometimes you have to follow certain principles, and from there you can improvise. So let this be a lesson. Beautiful game by Tal. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Bye bye.